would like to call Independent School District 721 to order. Janelle, please note that all 7 board members are present. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have 2 open forums. Marty Caffrey will be our first speaker, and I will just go over just a brief announcement regarding open forum. Again, thank you for taking the time to attend the board meeting. Please just let me remind you that the open forum guidelines, our goal is to provide an orderly, efficient, and fair opportunity for those presenting to be heard. Please be advised your limit for your remarks is 5 minutes. Any personal attacks by anyone addressing the school board is unacceptable, and such remarks by an individual shall terminate that individual's privilege to speak or address the school board. I'll give you one warning, and if it continues, I'll ask you to stop, okay? Members of the audience, I would ask that you refrain from any demonstration of support or opposition during any or all of the speaker's comments. So Marty, Mr. Marty Caffrey. Kathy?
Yes, Kathy.
Perfect. Welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate you starting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
You're welcome. Board, I'm sorry. He is speaking regarding the mandate of mask wearing for students.
Well, to start off with, the CDC and the WHO has offered no peer-reviewed studies that the mask work. There have been several studies that prove that they don't. And that fact alone really has me questioning if the board is pushing masks. Secondly, they can't even isolate the COVID from the flu. So these tests that they do are absolutely useless. What are they testing for? How do they know they even have a variant if they cannot isolate the virus itself? I just want to get some thought going on about this, because right now it's ridiculous. And I'm a Papa Bear. I will defend my children. And I love this school. I love the district. I really appreciate the effort that you put in to educate our children. I know that you're top notch when it comes to education. But I don't know if any of you have a PhD in medicine. And that's, if you do, more power to you for that. So I just want you to think about this. You're putting an impression on these kids, and it's not a good one. It's fear. And I was taught to challenge my fears. Find out they're not as bad as you think. And I'll just close with that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next to speak is Jean Cloud Netto. Thank you. Sorry. She is also speaking on masks.
So mine is just about my daughter's experience last year. I just wanted to share that. It was really traumatizing for her. She would not eat or drink the whole day for fear of taking off her mask, not because she's afraid to get COVID, but just the fear that is in that, in the atmosphere, you know, that's been projected through media and signs and everywhere. And I don't want that for her again this year. And I don't want her to do distance learning, and I want her to be a part of society and everything. And but when you get back in that environment of having to be masked again, that's fear. And these kids pick up on that, and they know that, and it's not good for them. And I can't imagine her going through the whole school year not wanting to eat or drink every school day. I mean, she didn't even want to go to the lunchroom to eat. And she was only there a week because she was out for a while, and then, you know, doing the distance learning, and then she came back and she couldn't handle it for that week. I mean, not being able to eat or drink. So anyways, that's what I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. That concludes our open forum receipt slips. So, motion to approve agenda.
So moved. Second.
Perfect. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0. Motion for consent agenda approval.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0. Committee reports, policy,
No.
okay. Southwest Metro,
Southwest Metro will have its first meeting for the new school year a week from tomorrow. We did conclude our teacher negotiations 2 weeks ago, and we'll have that on the agenda for approval by the board. The contract for Southwest Metro and the teachers always includes an averaging type of solution to the salary raise. So the final determination of what their actual raise is determined by the average of the district members. So it's still, you know, work in progress until that point is reached. But the negotiations went very well, and it was a very successful negotiations for both parties.
great. And CPAC,
No meeting for CPAC.
community ed,
No.
wellness,
No.
early childhood,
No.
fitness, and aquatic.
Yep, we actually met last month, and we had our bi-monthly meeting at the end of July. So just from a brief update on the Fitness and Aquatic Center, we went through preliminary year-end financials with the year-end ending June 30th. We had a loss of approximately $346,000 for the year ending June 30th. Obviously, that was a very disappointing number, but it was unfortunately expected with all the distancing and capacity restrictions that the Fitness and Aquatic Center were under almost the entire fiscal year, actually the entire fiscal year. But we're putting together a budget for the next fiscal year. The good news is that memberships throughout the summer there's been a nice uptick with memberships. Usually the summer months are months where things are very flat or even down, and so there's been good signs of people wanting to get back and get memberships re-upped. And also the temporary hold that a lot of members have been seeing on their accounts should be lifted. I believe it's September 1st, or else there's been some changes, but that'll be obviously bringing members back into the fitness center. And then also this in the fall, there's going to be a re-grand opening, just again to try to get some excitement back to getting people back into the fitness center and aquatic center. So otherwise, the last thing I want to mention is just we're just like any small business or any other organization. There are lots of job openings, whether that's concessions or lifeguards and all the different positions there. There's lots of openings. So if you have kids or friends or know of anybody that are lifeguards, please encourage them to come out and work. Just like a lot of small businesses, we have a lot of openings right now. So just want to throw that out there as well. Otherwise, yeah, that was overall the meeting we had.
Thank you. We are on to Superintendent Good News.
All right, yeah, it's just some things going on right now, obviously enrolling a lot of people back into classes. We have a lot of families that choose a different option last year that are now re-enrolling in our district, which is a good thing, whether it was homeschool or whatever. Busy with that. Class schedules came out last week. Buildings are getting ready. Custodians have done just a fantastic job getting our buildings ready. So we're excited about that. We've got also worked out an agreement with Southwest Metro. So families that do choose for distance learning, online learning, we're working with our intermediate school district, Southwest Metro, that Denny was just talking about as an option for families to choose. And as you know, I sent a letter out about a week and a half ago to families and staff and just talked about our safe learning plan. I'll be talking about it at the work session, but we're following the recommendations and if there's any requirements, which there hasn't been. So again, in regards, I'll talk about this later, with the mask, with the whole thing with masking, we're just recommending, we're not mandating right now, unless that would change on a executive order. So I'll talk more about that at the work session.
Perfect. Okay, so approval for the 21-22 Transportation Driver Handbook.
I'll make a motion to approve that handbook.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 7-0. Approval of the 21-22 Transportation Parent Handbook.
I'll make a motion to approve the handbook, parent handbook.
Second.
Perfect. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. Resolution regarding the fund balance transfer from staff development to unassigned fund balance. Ooh, hi Sandy.
Hi.
Thank you, Sandy.
Yeah, we will, I have three resolutions for fund transfers due to COVID. I'll explain all three of them now, and then you can consider each one individually. The first one is from staff development. As you know, we had a huge revenue loss this year due to 200 students less than what we projected. And we will end up with a fairly sizable fund balance in staff development, and that is, it is approved to transfer from that. So I'm just proposing a $70,000 transfer. It will not hinder any future staff development activities. I've talked with Tony Boothie about that. The other two have to do with community ed. The first one is from long-term facilities maintenance fund balance to community ed, and that is for emergency childcare expenses during January. If you recall, we had the COVID relief fund money that we had to use by December 31st, and we still had a few weeks of emergency childcare to run until we went full in-person for grades K through 5. It took a few weeks to transition into that, so this will cover that. The other one is from ECFE to school readiness. And even though our revenue was what we projected in school readiness, it's still about $100,000 less than what we had been collecting if you go back to 18-19. And although our expenses are somewhat lower, we still have some expenses that occur every single year, no matter what our revenue is. So this will help alleviate that pressure on that school readiness fund balance. Any questions on any of the three?
I guess my only question I have is on the first one you talked about, the staff development piece. So you're saying that obviously we didn't have as much staff development because there wasn't as many opportunities. Are we still going to have enough fund balance in that account to go forward? Because won't we still have to have the same amount of staff development ultimately from a credit standpoint for teachers and staff and things like that? Or how's that going to play out, I guess?
Yeah, we get revenue every year for staff development,
Okay,
about
got it.
$600,000. So every year we get revenue. And some years, you know, in the past, we have had some pretty large district-wide staff development initiatives. We don't have anything like that coming up. We're also able to use Title II money next year to fund some of our peer, what's it called, for new teachers, mentoring. So we're able to use some of those funds next year. We had a pretty big title carryover again due to COVID. So we're able to kind of move some money around. And we can always, if we have staff development opportunities that we need to pay for, we can always take that from our general fund. You just can't go the other way.
Got it. Okay.
Any other questions?
All three of the resolutions have the same format, so I'll read the resolution format one time, and then after that, we'll just take the individual resolutions that are stated from the three different funds.
Perfect.
So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to consider the resolution of transfer from staff development to the unassigned fund balance.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to consider the following resolution. Whereas Minnesota statutes allows for fiscal year 2020, 2021 only a school district to transfer any funds not already assigned or encumbered by staff salary and benefits or otherwise encumbered by federal law from any accounts or operating fund to the unassigned balance in any other operating fund. Whereas the fund transfer is allowed if the transfer meets the following criteria for Minnesota laws. The transfer does not increase state obligations to the district or result in additional property tax authority for the district. A transfer is limited to the operating funds of a district. A school board must approve a fund transfer by the respective fiscal year reporting deadline. A district must maintain accounting records for the purpose of this section that are sufficient to document both the specific funds transferred and use of those funds. Such accounting records are subject to audit or review. Any execution of this flexibility must not interfere with or jeopardize funding per federal requirements. Any transfer must not interfere with the equitable delivery of distance learning or social distancing models. Whereas the School Board of New Prague Area Schools, Independent District 721, has determined that the criteria identified have been satisfied for a fund transfer pursuant to Minnesota statutes. Whereas the School Board of Independent School District 721 has reviewed and approved the attached request for fund transfer from Staff Development Fund 01 balance to Fund 01 unassigned fund balance in the amount of $70,000. How do you vote on this resolution? Leo?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Jean?
Yes.
Dennis, yes. Item passes. Next, I'll entertain a motion to consider the transfer of fund balance from LTFM to Community Services.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
it's been moved and seconded to consider the resolution of transfer, whereas the School Board of Independent School District 721 has reviewed and approved the attached request for fund transfer from LTFM Fund 01 fund balance to Fund 01 Community Services, Fund 04 restricted fund balance in the amount of $39,482. How do you vote on this, Jean?
Yes.
Matthew?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Leo?
Yes.
Dennis, yes. Item passes. And the third one is the fund transfer from early childhood family education to community services school readiness. Do I have a motion to consider?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to consider the following resolution. Whereas the School Board of Independent School District 721 has reviewed and approved the attached request for fund transfer from Early Childhood Family Education Fund 04 fund balance to Community Services School Readiness Fund 04 restricted fund balance in the amount of $75,000. How do you vote on this, Mark?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Leo?
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Jean,
Yes.
Dennis, yes, item passes.
Okay, we have a resolution to accept a donation from the Duck Cup.
And I would just have Tony Boothie, who works with that, just say a few words about this before we do it.
Perfect.
Thank you. The Duck Cup Memorial Group, as most people are aware, is a group of 5 individuals that continue to work to prevent suicides and other mental health, and have continued to provide for not only our school district, but many of the school districts in our area. They held a golf tournament approximately 2 weeks ago. It was very successful. And some of those dollars they would like to donate to the New Prague schools. And we would use those for our Welcome Back to School presenter. His name is Mr. Joe Beckman. And he would have a kickoff speech for all of our staff on Thursday, August 26th. And the name of his speech is Human Connection. And just, through COVID and what we would really like is an opportunity for us to hear again the importance of building relationships and making those connections with staff, parents, students, everyone involved. Today I also invited St. Wenceslaus and Holy Cross staff to attend. We are always very cordial with that, and they have accepted. So on Thursday, August 26th at 1:30 in the high school auditorium, Duck Cup is sponsoring our Welcome Back speaker, and we sure appreciate that very, very much. And any questions? Thank you.
Yep, thanks, Tony.
Tony?
I'll make a motion to approve that, accept that
It's a
donation.
resolution.
Oh, it's a resolution, sorry.
It's okay.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion to consider the resolution of accepting a donation from the Duck Cup.
So moved.
For a second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to consider the following resolution. Whereas the New Prague Area School Board of Education established a policy concerning the acceptance of gifts to the school district. Whereas the policy states that the school board may receive for the benefit of the school district bequests, donations, grants of gifts for any proper purpose, and the school board shall have the sole authority to determine whether any gift with a value of $1,000 or more, or any precondition, condition, or limitation on use included in a proposed gift with a value of $1,000 or more, furthers the interests of or benefits the school district, and whether it should be accepted or rejected. Whereas the school board may accept a gift valued at $1,000 or more only by adoption of a resolution by 2/3 of its members. Whereas the Duck Cup wishes to donate $5,000 to the district for the district's Welcome Back All Staff Speaker, Joe Beckman. How do you vote on this, Jean?
Yes.
Matthew?
Yes.
Jean? I'm sorry, Tammy?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Leo?
Yes.
Dennis? Yes, item passes.
Okay, motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned, 6